Throughout her adult years, Elisabeth Taylor's personal life, especially her 8 marriages, 2 to the same man, drew a large amount of media attention and public disapproval. According to biographer Alexander Walker, whether she liked it or not, marriage is the matrix of the myth that began surrounding Elisabeth Taylor from when she was 16. MGM arranged for her to date football champion Glenn Davis in 1948. And the following year, she was briefly engaged to William Pauley Jr., son of U.S. Ambassador William D. Pauley. Film tycoon Howard Hughes also wanted to marry her, and offered to pay her parents a 6-figure sum of money if she were to become his wife. Taylor declined the offer, but was otherwise eager to marry young, as her rather puritanical upbringing and beliefs made her believe that love was synonymous with marriage. Taylor later described herself as being emotionally immature during this time due to her sheltered childhood, and believed that she could gain independence from her parents and MGM through marriage. Taylor was 18 years old when she married Conrad Hilton Jr., heir to the Hilton Hotels chain, at the Church of the Good Shepherd in Beverly Hills on May 6, 1950. MGM organized a large and expensive wedding, which became a major media event. In the weeks after their wedding, Taylor realized that she had made a mistake. Not only did she and Hilton have few interests in common, but he was also abusive and a heavy drinker. Hilton caused Taylor to have a miscarriage after one of his violent outbursts. She was granted a divorce on the grounds of mental cruelty on January 29, 1951, 8 months after their wedding. Taylor married her second husband, British actor Michael Wilding, a man 20 years her senior, in a Loki ceremony at Caxton Hall in London on February 21, 1952. She had first met him in 1948 while filming The Conspirator in England, and their relationship began when she returned to film Ivanhoe in 1951. Taylor found their age gap appealing, as she wanted the calm and quiet and security of friendship from their relationship. He hoped that the marriage would aid his career in Hollywood. They had 2 sons. Michael Howard was born on January 6, 1953, and Christopher Edward was born on February 27, 1955. As Taylor grew older and more confident in herself, she began to drift apart from Wilding, whose failing career was also a source of marital strife. When she was away filming Giant in 1955, Gossip magazine Confidential caused a scandal by claiming that he had entertained strippers at their home. Taylor and Wilding announced their separation on July 18, 1956, and were divorced in January 1957. Taylor married her third husband, theater and film producer Mike Todd, in Acapulco, Guerrero, Mexico, on February 2, 1957. They had 1 daughter, Elizabeth Liza Francis, was born on August 6, 1957. Todd, known for publicity stunts, encouraged media attention to their marriage. For example, in June 1957, he threw a birthday party at Madison Square Garden, which was attended by 18,000 guests and broadcast on CBS. His death in a plane crash on March 22, 1958, left Taylor devastated. She was comforted by Todd and her friend, singer Eddie Fisher, with whom she soon began an affair. As Fisher was still married to actress Debbie Reynolds, the affair resulted in a public scandal, with Taylor being branded a homewrecker. Taylor and Fisher were married at the Temple Beth Shalom in Las Vegas on May 12, 1959. She later stated that she married him only due to her grief. While filming Cleopatra in Italy in 1962, Taylor began an affair with her co-star, Welsh actor Richard Burton, although Burton was also married. Rumors about the affair began to circulate in the press, and were confirmed by a paparazzi shot of them on a yacht in Ischia. According to sociologist Ellis Cashmore, the publication of the photograph was a turning point, beginning a new era in which it became difficult for celebrities to keep their personal lives separate from their public images. The scandal caused Taylor and Burton to be condemned for erotic vagrancy by the Vatican, with calls also in the U.S. Congress to bar them from re-entering the country. Taylor was granted a divorce from Fisher on March 5, 1964, in Puerto Vallarta, Jalisco, Mexico, and married Burton 10 days later in a private ceremony at the Ritz-Carlton, Montreal. Burton subsequently adopted Liza Todd and Maria Burton, a German orphan whose adoption process Taylor had begun while married to Fisher. Dubbed Liz and Dick by the media, Taylor and Burton starred together in 11 films, and led a jet-set lifestyle, spending millions on furs, diamonds, paintings, designer clothes, travel, food, liquor, a yacht, and a jet. Sociologist Karen Sternheimer states that they became a cottage industry of speculation about their alleged life of excess. From reports of massive spending affairs, and even an open marriage, the couple came to represent a new era of gotcha celebrity coverage, where the more personal the story, the better. They divorced for the first time in June 1974, but reconciled and remarried in Kasane, Botswana, on October 10, 1975. The second marriage lasted less than a year, ending in divorce in July 1976. Taylor and Burton's relationship was often referred to as the marriage of the century by the media, and she later stated, after Richard, "The men in my life were just there to hold the coat, to open the door. All the men after Richard were really just company." Soon after her final divorce from Burton, Taylor met her sixth husband, John Warner, a Republican politician from Virginia. They were married on December 4, 1976, after which Taylor concentrated on working for his electoral campaign. Once Warner had been elected to the Senate, she started to find her life as a politician's wife in Washington, D.C., boring and lonely, becoming depressed, overweight, and increasingly addicted to prescription drugs and alcohol. Taylor and Warner separated in December 1981, and divorced a year later in November 1982. After the divorce from Warner, Taylor dated actor Anthony Gary and was engaged to Mexican lawyer Victor Luna in 1983 to 1984, and New York businessman Dennis Stein in 1985. She met her seventh and last husband, construction worker Larry Fortensky, at the Betty Ford Center in 1988. They were married at the Neverland Ranch of her close friend Michael Jackson on October 6, 1991. The wedding was again subject to intense media attention, with one photographer parachuting to the ranch, and Taylor selling the wedding pictures to people for $1 million, which she used to start her AIDS foundation. Taylor and Fortensky divorced in October 1996, but remained in contact for life. She attributed the split to her painful hip operations and his obsessive-compulsive disorder. In the winter of 1999, Fortensky underwent brain surgery after falling off a balcony and was comatose for 6 weeks. Taylor immediately notified the hospital she would personally guarantee his medical expenses. At the end of 2010, she wrote him a letter that read, "Larry darling, you will always be a big part of my heart. I'll love you forever." Taylor's last phone call with Fortensky was on February 7, 2011, one day before she checked into the hospital for what turned out to be her final stay. He told her she would outlive him. Although they had been divorced for almost 15 years, Taylor left Fortensky $825,000 in her will. What are your thoughts? Please leave a comment below the video. Thanks for watching, and see you next time.